welcome to my channel. I want to say a big hello and welcome to all new and returning subscribers. And if by chance you've stumbled across this channel is all about cross stitch with a bit of life stuff thrown in. This particular episode has been recorded on Dharawal land up at Wollongong in Australia. So hello and welcome, and I hope you enjoy what you see, and if you do, make sure you click on the like button, click on the subscribe button as well, and ring the bell so you get notified of any new videos that I record and upload. It has been a big fortnight since we last caught up. I've been able to get some stitching done, and I'm really excited that I've been able to get some physical patterns printed up and delivered to where I am. So that's really exciting that all the buttons that I've been pressing have turned out the way that I want. So I'll be able to show you some of those patterns as well. And I'm really hoping to be able to get some more printed up so I can then press a few more buttons so they're available for you all to purchase up on the website. So yeah, it'll be really cool. So with the first project that I have worked on is one of my own designs. My side hustle is hot cross stitching, and the main project, one of my focus projects, especially for this year, but for this fortnight especially, has been Dewdrop Daisies. So I'm just bringing up the cover picture for it, and that way you can see what it will look like when it's done. Let's get this around that way. Okay, so hopefully it's not too, there we are. So this is Dewdrop Daisy, and it's available on the Hot Cross Stitching website for purchase, and readily downloadable to then use in Pattern Keeper. I've not used the digital pattern with any other apps at the moment, so I'm hoping that it's a PDF, so I'm hoping that it will be compatible with some of the other apps available. So my aim with Dewdrop Daisy is to be able to get a total of 22,000 stitches done on it for the year 2022, and this is where I'm at so far. So I've been focusing quite a bit on the side here where we can see the some of the petal coming together just a little bit more, and I'm using DMC thread on this particular project, and I'm stitching it 2 threads over 2 fabric squares, and I'm thinking it's 28 count linen. I think it's 28 count, and I guess I probably should have stitched 1 over 1 to really get it to fit, but I just love the colours of this. It's looking really good, and I'll eventually get it framed, and it'll look really stunning when it's done. I'm not quite sure how much I've been able to get done over the fortnight since we last caught up, but I'm hoping that it's close to 1,000 stitches. I haven't been keeping close track of it, but if someone can let me know if there's a way to do like a weekly tally or even a fortnightly tally somewhere in the settings of Pattern Keeper, that would be awesome. So that way I can get just a really good idea of how much work I have or haven't put into a project. So that would be really cool. So the next project I've done a fair bit of work on is Water Tiger 2. This is a project I've had in my stash for a very long time. So this particular project, it's a pattern by Kustom Krafts, designed by Diana Lair, and I'm stitching this on 18 count even weave, and I'm stitching it 2 DMC threads over 1 fabric square, and I'm about halfway through the project, and last fortnight I had finished off the pages and am now into the second half of the project. And his eyes, I do know, they potentially look a little bit creepy because I haven't filled them in yet. And I'm stitching this for my best mate who will be turning 40 in October next year. And when I first started working on this project, she had suggested that I could, or wondered if I would be able to change the eye colour from the amber colour you see on the pattern to perhaps some different shades of blue, because at that stage she hadn't stitched the blue-eyed tiger yet, and there's just something about tigers with blue eyes that she's quite fascinated with. So yeah, we'll wait and see. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get that done without too many problems. And so the last project that I've been working on is a Heaven and Earth piece, and it is, I'll just bring up the chart. So it is a mini stitch in time. The artwork is by Amy Stewart, and I've seen that there's quite a lot of people. Let's see if I can zoom in on a bit. Okay, so it's like a Four Seasons kind of thing. I'm trying to do this without there being too much of glare from the camera. So this is, I would love to be working on this just a little bit more than I have been. So what I've been doing is filling in quite a lot. I guess I'm thinking this is like an archway or a doorway. But I'm stitching this on, I think this is 28 count easy guide, where the squares are 10 by 10, and I'm using all the called for colours, DMC threads, 1/1, and yeah, I'm liking how this is coming together, and I'm hoping to be able to get a bit more done. But I think it's also one of those situations where it's wanting to stitch all the things and there not being enough time in the world or time in the day to get all the things done, plus stitching and yeah, life stuff. So the next thing that has been happening is I've gotten 6 patterns all printed out. So the first one that I've gotten printed out is one that I've called Male Cheetah, and this is a full coverage project. So with Male Cheetah, this is based upon a photo that I took at the Canberra Zoo and Aquarium. So I've grown up in Canberra. I've lived in the Canberra region pretty well all of my life, and it's only been in the last it's been 3 weeks since I started the new job, and it's been a bit over a month since we've moved here from Canberra. So yeah, it's all good. I'm just trying to think of timelines of things. So this picture was taken as part of a Jamala wildlife stay. So Jamala is connected to the Canberra Zoo and Aquarium, and there's different enclosures that you get to stay in. I think there's about 6 or 8 enclosures, and as part of the stay at the Jamala wildlife place at the zoo, I think then in the morning can then get a walking guided tour in a group, and there's a couple of the zookeepers who do the tour, and that's where we got to go for a walk through the enclosure where the cheetahs are, or near where the cheetahs are, and it was just fascinating to hear some of the different stories about the animals there, and some of the things that happen behind the scenes that we wouldn't normally be privy to just as part of the general admission. So I got to stay at in part of the enclosure where the tigers are. And Ravi was the name of the tiger that we got to spend some time with. And the reason why we got to stay there was part of a gift voucher for a birthday that I had a few years ago. So that had been really, really special. And the next pattern that I've gotten printed out, it is actually a project that I'm working on at the moment that I've been showing off and on. So this is the black and white rolled up daisy, and this is based upon a photo that I took down at the far south coast in New South Wales at Malua Bay. And I'm actually stitching this project on black Ada. I think I'm stitching an 18 count black Ada, and it's fully compatible with Pattern Keeper. Pretty much all of the patterns, these are currently available as digital patterns that you can download and put straight into Pattern Keeper without any worries. And yeah, it's turning out really well, this particular project. So if you're interested in seeing the progress that I've done so far, head back through some of my earlier Flosstube episodes and you'll get to see what's going on with that. And let's see what else. Dewdrop Daisy. Okay, so this is another pattern that I've gotten printed up. So you've just seen a little bit earlier my progress with this particular project. So this is based on a photo that I took of one of the daisies that we've got in my garden at home in Canberra. And yeah, even as a photo, this is really nice to look at. And let's see, the next one that I've got printed up is Yellow Cogs. So Yellow Cogs is based upon a photo that I took at my parents' farm out at Gundaroo. And with this particular pattern, if you're interested in purchasing it, whether it be the physical pattern or the digital, when you first go to load it into Pattern Keeper, I think it loads as landscape. And I've also put a note in here as well. So I think even as the physical print that if you're going to stitch it, that just to bear in mind that when I'd first loaded this image into the conversion software that I'm using to convert photos into cross-stitch patterns, the software had loaded it in as landscape mode rather than portrait mode. So it's just something that you'll need to bear in mind when you then go to put together the fabric and start stitching it. Okay, so the next project is Autumn Ivy on the Wall. It most likely isn't ivy. That was just the name of the plant that I thought it was when I first took the photo. And this particular photo was actually taken just as part of my walk back from the shops at a previous job that I had in Canberra. And the place that I worked at in Canberra, it was in one of the older suburbs of Canberra. And it's one of those sort of older suburbs where you've got these really beautifully tree-lined streets that change colours in autumn. And with one of the buildings that I'd walked past, it had this vine growing up one of the dark walls of I think an apartment building or something like that. And I just thought the gradation of the colours was just really pretty, and especially on the dark wall, it just looked really cool. So if this is where, if you are interested in stitching the pattern, that I think it would look really cool if you were able to stitch it on a really dark grey linen, Ada, even with whatever takes your fancy, and that way the colours on this would just really pop. And it is meant to be a full coverage project, but if you're so inclined, if you've got the ability to sort of ignore the background a bit and just stitch the leaves that you see, that could look really cool. Or do half stitch or 10 stitch for the background, like the dark colours, so you just really get through it quick, and then do the full crosses for the leaves. That again could be something fantastic. And whenever it's autumn here in Australia, I do get a bit of an itch to want to start working on this. And it's one of those funny things where I get a bit of an itch to start a project, then I realise, no, I've got so many other projects to work on that I'd have to sort of bump a few more projects off the rotation to uh, get some new ones into the rotation. So the last pattern I have to share with you that I've gotten printed up is called Mini Mushrooms. I think on the website of Hot Cross Stitching, I might have this listed as Gundaroo Mini Mushrooms. Either way, it's the same project. So if you've been with me for a while, you've potentially seen my progress with this project over time, and I am about halfway through stitching this pattern at the moment, and I'm actually stitching the physical pattern because I hadn't come across Pattern Keeper at the time, and I hadn't quite figured out how to get the PDFs into Pattern Keeper at that stage. And I call it Gundaroo Mini Mushrooms because I had taken this photo on my parents' farm out at Gundaroo, and it was just on a whim or by chance, that I'd come across these mushrooms, because they're actually, in real life, these are really tiny mushrooms. And I had been waiting for my boyfriend to finish doing some fishing on one of the large dams at my parents' place. And so I thought, oh, I'll just see what's around me at the moment for the landscape. And it was a situation where I just noticed some of these little mushrooms growing up through the grass and the pine needles and such. And so, yeah, it just worked out really well for the project. So I'm stitching this particular project on 14 count Ada using DMC threads, and this should be fully compatible with Pattern Keeper, as well as being a great pattern to work on as a physical project. So just to put into context, that's how the chart looks at the moment. So I've done as much as I can to get the chart looking user friendly. So that's pretty much it stitching wise. So if by chance I've got a bit of life update to share, if you're interested in sticking around, it should only take about 10 minutes. And if by chance you're not too keen on the life update, thank you very much for sticking around with me for the 20 minutes or so that it's been nearly. If you have enjoyed what you see and you would like to see more of the projects that I've been working on, and you want to see some more of the other ones that I will be working on, and you want to know more about some of the patterns that I've got as physical charts, definitely subscribe, click the like button, the thumbs up, and ring the bell, so that way you'll get all the notifications that you need. Also check out the Hot Cross Stitching website. I'll put a link to it in the description box below, and I hope to see you next time. Okay, so if you're here to hear a bit about life stuff, I am getting used to travelling between Wollongong and Canberra. There's been quite a lot of driving back and forth, which is part of why I haven't been able to work on as many projects as I would like to. But I think it's all a matter of just finding the time where you can get whatever stitching done that I can, and I'll eventually have some time just to sit back, relax, and get some more stitching done to work on the projects that I really, really want to get done. So yeah, I'll be attending a Christmas party in, I think, the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I've been travelling down between here and Canberra a few times because I've got some family social events happening. And as part of me being, there's been some stressful stuff happening in life that has made life a bit uncomfortable. And just as part of how I've dealt with stress recently, I've had moments of locking myself out of the unit that we're living in at the moment, and I've been here on my own for a few days. Thankfully, my boyfriend is back up here with me because he was down in Canberra on his own for a little bit to do with some family things that were happening, some health stuff that was happening for him. But he's going to be okay. But as part of me being a bit scatterbrained and dealing with some things that were going on, I locked myself out when I was here on my own. So I needed to, call upon the real estate agents to get me back into here, which was, really easy. They were very understanding, which was fantastic. And then on another day, I was a klutz and spilt coffee on the couch, and it's a light coloured fabric couch. So most of it I've been able to get out. It was just like, silly me, just wasn't paying attention to what was going on. And then on another day, I was this close to fully setting off the smoke alarms in this unit, just because of the way that I was cooking some food on a hot plate at the time. It was marinated chicken, and the fry pan I was using was just way too hot. I didn't think to turn the dial down too much because my logic was that, okay, the marinade will burn a little bit, it'll do something a bit funky, but the important thing was to get the center of the chicken cooked. So I already had two windows open, and the smoke alarms were just starting to make a little bit of noise, and I was like, oh shoot, okay, raced around, got another window opened up, and just aired out the unit as much as I could. It all worked out okay. I was just paranoid that I was going to set off the alarms and that I wouldn't be able to turn them off, and it would then cause an evacuation of the building. I'm up on the 12th floor of a 14-floor building, and I've already once had to evacuate the building for a different smoke alarm reason, and I didn't want to be the reason to have the fire brigade come to turn off alarms, and that just would have been embarrassing. It would have been expensive because of the cost to call the fire brigade people, and everything else. It was just a stress that I didn't need, and I think I've pretty well got everything out of my system now in terms of anything else that could possibly go wrong, just as part of me dealing with stress. I'm pretty sure that I've got everything else sorted out now. So the good thing is I've got my boyfriend back here with me in Wollongong. We can both try and chill and relax as much as we practically can whilst dealing with life stuff that inevitably happens. And I'm hoping to get a few more different projects to work on as part of my rotation. So I'm looking to get a few more patterns printed up, plus some of those patterns are ones that haven't been released yet. So that will be really exciting to get some new releases out the door as well. And one of the ones I'm actually contemplating starting to stitch because one of the people that I follow on Flosstube, and I try to watch their Flosstubers on a regular basis as well. So D's 2020 stitches, D20. I'm so sorry. I will get the name sorted. Um, Either way, their birthday was on I think November 24th, and as part of the annual thing for Dee's birthday, they asked to be Flip the Bird. And the bird in the sense of working on any cross stitch project that has at least a bird in it. So the play on words, flipping Dee the bird. So if you follow Dee on um, Flosstube or Instagram. I know that Dee's pretty consistent on Instagram in terms of posting a lot of projects that they're working on and all the rest. So that's what I was thinking of starting one of the projects that I haven't actually got up for sale yet, but is one of the projects that I'm wanting to get printed up and released as a digital design as well. So I'm sure I can convince myself quite easily to start a project because it's not like I've got many others underway. So that's about it for life stuff. I'm keeping an eye on the time at the moment as well because I've got a 30-minute window for this particular filming. So I'm just wanting to be sure that I'm not rambling too much and that I'm getting all the messages to you that I can. So I'm hoping that for next fortnight that I'll have some more stitching being able to. I'm hoping to get some more stitching done, a bit more variety as well, rather than just 3 projects. And I look forward to seeing you all in hopefully a couple of weeks. And if not, it'll be hopefully a maximum 3 weeks. I hope you all stay safe and I hope you're all getting a lot of stitching done or as much stitching as you practically can. And I'll see you all next time.